is Dantes, okay? Dantes is a popular figure in the gaming community. He is a streamer. He consistently attracts thousands of viewers with his dedicated streaming sessions, okay? So if we look at just what the news says, right? Look at what just the news says. Dante's content is wild, yeah. Dantes, a popular figure in the gaming community, has consistently attracted thousands of viewers with his dedicated streaming sessions. Dantes tried to maintain a connection with Laura. In addition to his dedication to his gaming business, he finally made the decision to break up with her, admitting that he wasn't ready for a relationship. He's well known. He broadcasted an amazing 194 hours in just 10 days while ascending the rankings in South Korea in 2023. So that's basically the news. He broke up with her. So let's read the tweet, the actual tweet about it, okay? And I know it sounds a little bit boring, but I promise it heats up pretty quickly, okay? I mean, the idea that he broke up with her and chose, like, League of Legends over her in the first place is crazy. So, okay. Here it is. Laura and I broke up. Sorry, just a second. Just answering a text message, guys. Okay. Laura and I broke up. While I could sit here and try for hours to explain the reason why, it all comes down to one simple truth. I'm not ready for a relationship. From the get-go, I told her that my career would be my first priority. She always did everything she could to accommodate that fact, whether it be bringing me food, supporting me after a bad day, encouraging me when I was down, or just being an ear that could listen to all my problems. She was, and always possible, everything I ever wanted. The problem is, however, that relationships are about compromise. Seeing her taking steps back in her own life and career in order to support me, while I was unwilling and unable to do the same for her, is just something that, over time, took its toll on me mentally. I mean, at least he's acknowledging it here, you know? I just came to the realization that the very foundation of what relationships are wasn't something that I was able/willing to do. And as a result, made the decision to end things. I won't pretend that I know if I made the right choice or not. The only thing I can say is that I'm eternally grateful for the time and love that we shared. At the end of the day, I'd rather live regretting a choice that I did make than go through life always second-guessing myself. Going forward, I only ask that you show her nothing but support, since she was always the one who gave her all with understanding me and trying to work through everything. Thank you. So this is the post he made. Even look at this. Wait, you picked a league over her? Are you stupid? She is very beautiful. She's a very beautiful woman. Of course, Zerka has to say the game is always better than the P, you know? Yeah, wild. Fumble of the year, dog. So it was a big piece of news just because people were like, yo, what the f***'s wrong with you? She's hot. She's incredibly hot. And you broke up with her, why? So, but it was a very mature post, a very mature breakup post. And, you know, I think anybody reading that could appreciate it, right? So then the chaos ensues, okay? Chaos ensues. This person tweets out, Laura had to get an abortion 1 month into Dante's relationship, according to Tarzaned. Tarzaned is another streamer who I believe used to be friends with Dantes. While Laura went to go to Germany to get an abortion, Dantes was playing League of Legends. So obviously this is not his information to share, right?
Right. 1 month into the relationship, Laura was pregnant with Dantes' child. And when she's at her most vulnerable, scared, anxious, he let her fly back to Germany to get an abortion while he stayed home and streamed League, basically, is a TLDR. And that is the nuke, basically. Just to show his character as a human being. Right.
And so basically, yeah, this Tarzan guy leaks this information. Obviously devastating. This is like a really private thing that she probably didn't want anybody to know about. So yeah, I mean, obviously I would have my own issues if I knew a friend went to go get an abortion while her boyfriend stayed at home playing video games. But if it's his job, I mean, I guess that's a different thing. But basically, she is super upset by this. Okay? Wait, why is this not working? Laura confirmed she had an abortion, but that he lies about everything, nothing specific mentioned. So then what happens is Lauren replies to this. She is devastated, okay? She tweets out, Tarzan, you disgusting piece of shit. Think it's okay to talk about my abortion that I had and lie about the whole thing. 29-year-old man-child that thinks it's okay to talk about a random woman's trauma is so disgusting to me. You deserve nothing in this world for doing that. Did we have disagreements that both of us apologize for? 100%. But for you to go online and talk about that, taking away my right to keep that to myself, shows how much you lack in sympathy. Dragging me and really traumatic event in your childish fight with Dantes makes you everything but an adult that understands boundaries and respect. Like, yeah, I had to agree with her here, you know? She's so, you know, upset. Apparently, Dantes made some abortion jokes or whatever, and I don't care about that. And then Tarzan made a diss track against Dantes. Yeah, basically, this Tarzan guy used to be friends with Dantes and basically used private medical information to basically tarnish his reputation online. Like, information that he should not have put out, you know? This is the diss track, I guess, he made.
Yo, Dantes, listen up, it's time to set this straight. You a fake, a snake, can't handle your own weight. Blaming me for Brazil, that's a twisted thrill. While you crumbled under pressure, couldn't get your fill. I tried to coach, tried to guide.
I guess. Yeah, I guess he made this diss track after that. Then Dantes and Laura on stream talked about it. This guy made a pretty good thread of everything.
They broke down and I had to go to the emergency.
Sorry. One second. Sorry. So here it is.
Because I was 2 hours after getting it, I completely broke down. I had to go to the emergency because I was just emotionally completely out of it. And Dantes ended his stream earlier so we could call and I could express to him how bad I was feeling. And then my grandma came over and I told my grandma I think I did a mistake. And she told me I'm so sorry for pressuring you. If I would have known, I wouldn't have pressured you into getting it. So it's so unfair to me for such a disgusting human being, a 20-year-old man-child, to go online and lie about my history with abortion. This should have never been public. This is something he was told in private.
Yeah, it's just sad. And I think they're still living together because obviously they're on stream together, right? They're broken up, but that was not something that she was ever going to use against him. And it wasn't something that was ever going to be made public. And she very clearly, she can, she's barely breathing while she's crying during this. You know, she's obviously very, very upset by what happened here, you know? Laura moved out. Okay. Thank you, Bukake Tears. Yeah. And so Dantes and her are on this stream together. And yeah, it's just it's just really sad. She's so upset that she can barely breathe between her crying, you know?
2 hours after getting it, I completely broke down. I had to go to the emergency because I was just emotionally completely out of it. And Dantes ended his stream earlier so we could call and I could express to him how bad I was feeling. And then my grandma came over and I told my grandma I think I did a mistake. And she told me I'm so sorry for pressuring you. If I would have known, I wouldn't have pressured you into getting it. So it's so unfair to me for such a disgusting human being, a 20-year-old man-child, to go online and lie about my history with abortion. This should have never been public. This is something he was told in private.
That's so sad. And then Dante's completely furious about Tarzan's actions. Just a second.
Either of us has ever had to go through! Either of us has ever had to go through in front of thousands! When I didn't even talk about it to my closest friends! The fact that this disgusting freak of a human being thinks, because the thing is that it's not even just because I know that people are going to go after me because of it. That's whatever. But you have somebody that literally did nothing to you, and now there are going to be either of us.
I think he said it got cut off, but he talks about this was the most traumatic experience for either of us, you know? Thanks for making me deaf. I'm not even wearing headphones. I'm sorry. Can't control it. So sad. I'm on his side, you know? I'm on his side too. Because it's just up. It's just up. So then Dante said this tweet is false. Let's see. Oh yeah, this tweet about him making abortion jokes during the same time is false. So it's just incredibly sad, you know? It's just incredibly sad. I wanted to also show Zerka, of course, had to weigh in Stupid. Tarzan got cut off by like 70% of the League of Legends streaming community. That's crazy. Who is winning? No, nobody's winning. It's not a miscarriage. She had to get an abortion, and it was exposed by another person who used to be friends with a ex-boyfriend. Her and him broke up, right? But it seems like they're still on good terms. And yeah, they're still on good terms, but yeah, this guy who had a vendetta against him used her abortion story, I guess, against him. So, yeah. That was emotional terrorism. I hope they're both doing okay. It's really sad. And yeah, and he makes a good point. Like, thousands of people heard that.
To go online and lie about my history with abortion. This should have never been public. This is something.
And he looks so distressed here too, you know? Like, knowing, like, you know, even if you're not together anymore, like, you shared this experience with your partner. You knew, like, how heavy this was on her, how affected this was, you know, how affected by this she was, you know?
He was told in private.
Say things about me, right? But the fact that he decides to leak something like that as some kind of truth bomb, the fact that this disgusting piece of sits there and talks in front of thousands of people, leaking probably the most traumatic thing that either of us has ever had to go through in front of thousands, when I didn't even talk about it to my closest friends.
Jesus. That's very sad. And then Zerka's like, she's f***ed up for that. How is she f***ed up for that? It's a joint decision, apparently. How is she the f***ed up one here? Lots of people hate Tarzan. Now they hate him even more, of course. Yeah. Why do people do this on stream, man? Yeah, I don't know. Like, how? How is that? How is she the f***ed up one? You know, it was a private medical information that was leaked, and a very traumatic experience for her, you know? She didn't do anything wrong. Well, you know what he's saying? He's saying she's f***ed up for getting the abortion, which is like, abortions have happened. You can have your moral stance on them, but they have happened since the, you know, the beginning of time. And, you know, nobody's making that choice happily. Nobody's making a choice to get an abortion happily. That is usually a choice that people are very, very conflicted about making. So it's just sad, you know? Whatever position you want to have on it, it happened. And it was clearly something that, like, still tortures her, you know? Okay, let me see. I posted the wrong one. The fact that people are blaming her for such a traumatic experience is disgusting, especially when you realize that she got pressured by her grandma for it, to get it, yeah. She literally says that she called her grandma or something. Her grandma was sorry for having her do it. So I don't think she even wanted one. Yeah, she was probably very conflicted. Christian Mode Zerka is the least Christian person. Well, he's the guy who slept with the 16-year-old, right? So he can go f*** himself. And he was on main calling himself a PDF file. It's disgusting. Nobody makes that choice lightly, and no one deserves to be shamed for doing it, or for regretting having it done afterwards. Either way, that's private that shouldn't have been dumped online. Yeah. So then there's this. This person tweets out, apparently Laura's abortion was already public. On May 25th, 2024, she talked about it openly on stream, although it lacked any information surrounding the abortion. The way she talks about it sounds like it was when she was super young. It's still private medical information. And it's like you're making her relive very, very, you know, private moment.
I was super young when that happened. Like talking about mental health, abortion stuff and stuff.
It's not anybody's, you know, it's not anybody's right to know like the specific details of it, you know? It clearly, yeah, there's no information in this that is identifying about it.
Already gone through an abortion. I was super young when that happened. Like talking about mental health, abortion stuff and stuff like that. I think these are topics that a lot of people don't talk about because they're...
Anyways, then Dantes replies to this tweet and says, genuinely go f*** yourself, man. You're not some kind of newscaster or anything. You're a young Eastern European kid willing to do anything for clicks just because your only moral ground is that you stand on is sensationalism. If you don't think there's a massive difference between her broadly talking about an abortion that she pretended was years ago because she didn't want it to involve me or anything regarding our relationship, and clearly trying to not relate it to anything she was currently going through, just so she could express her pain in front of several hundred people that supported her, because it's something that troubles her constantly, versus a man sitting there and revealing the details surrounding it so that it could be used as a weaponized attack in front of tens of thousands of live watchers, as well as hundreds of thousands of secondary platforms, to put all the eyes on her and harass her and I for it. There's something seriously wrong with you. Reznov, thank you for the raid. Very much appreciated. Yeah, no, the public details are, you know, like the private details, that it's nobody's business, really. Not to mention the fact that at the time of releasing it, he had absolutely no knowledge whatsoever that she had even broadly discussed the idea of it, and he knew exactly what he was doing since he sat on the idea of it for weeks. Take some accountability. Not only did you post lies that were later disproven, and you never took down your words, but you also sat here, posted this with the intention of defending an indefensible man, and then had the audacity to make somewhat of a public vouch for him. You're nothing more than a leech, and a truly horrible, rotten one at that. And I think, you know, like, this dude definitely sends way too much text, but like, I think he's good with words, honestly. I can see why he's where he is, you know? Yeah, exactly. Pain makes a great point here. She didn't want an abortion. She didn't want the fact she had an abortion shared, let alone weaponized against someone she loves. Yeah, and you know those tens of thousands of viewers are going to be harassing her now, you know? Because she's the one who did it, you know? And it's always, you know, woman bad for getting it done. So, okay, next one. Yeah, we'll get there, Ian. Then Dantes says this: Dear Tarzan, genuinely hilarious how you still, to this day, try to play the victim. If you want to sit here and share some things about me, then I'll respond in kind. If you want to, I know that you're probably sitting here reading this post from your account. You know, the one you'd use to stalk all your exes and people that had you blocked. Remember how you'd sit there and ask Laura in Brazil about every streamer I/her had a problem with. Then, after you and her had a disagreement, you sat there and DM'd almost every single one of the things that she would tell you in confidence. You messaged people you hadn't talked to in 6 months just to shit on her, and then sat there and publicly humiliated her out of nothing but the malice you carry in your heart. Oh my god, this dude sounds like a bully. Like, just bullying this woman. Why do people care if she had an abortion? Is she a trad-con girl? No, she's, I don't think she is. I think people care because there are a lot of, like, trad, or, like, I don't know, trad adjacent people in the space, you know, who will go after her. And their audiences are very, very keen on harassing people. I hate to be that guy, Tarzan, but you aren't the victim in this situation, and you never were. There's a reason why at 29 years old, you can barely even have a handful of people that you can call friends, because you always show your true colors that you are, at heart, a bad person. There's a reason why all your previous friendships failed, and a reason why your streaming friendships never last, apart from with Tyler 1, that keeps his distance from you. Damn, this Dantes guy is actually pretty good at writing. Let's not comment about the fact that you'd even tell me privately about how you think he's washed up nowadays. That wouldn't be too nice to leak, now would it? You stockpile information against people, keep it in your arsenal, and the second things go sour, you just use it all like it's some kind of ammunition. Sounds like Milo here. You have no respect for anyone, truly. I hate that I was the kind of man that, still knowing all that, gave you the benefit of the doubt and allowed myself to get somewhat close to you, even with hundreds of people telling me to stay away. The reason why I'm willing to go full scorched earth now is because it took a relationship where my partner truly saw me for me, and I was able to really trust, to realize that dealing with disgusting people like you constantly is something that I just won't do anymore. When you sit here alone tonight, and you're staring at the comments, just ask yourself one thing. When you told me in confidence things regarding your life, did I ever once use it against you? I only hope that when you stare at the ceiling tonight, you come to the true realization behind why the only people left in your life are your parents. Take care. Damn. Because Dantes is a DGGer? Is he? I don't know anything about him. But he's a very good writer. I do have to give him credit for that. Not expected from a streamer, to be honest with you guys. I was not expecting it from a streamer. Okay, then he tweets this out. You want to make a list? I'll make one too. What being Tarzan's friend was like. Brazil edition. Invite him to be on my Brazil team. After a few weeks, have him question every single decision/play that I would make, and VOD review on his stream to make me constantly look like a complete and utter clown. After multiple times of asking him to stop because of how much the community backlash affected me, it took Laura sitting all of us down and confronting him for him to finally stop. He started doing it again a few days later. The worst part is that even when I was telling him to stop, he tried justifying his behavior and doing it more over the course of days by constantly saying it was just banter and that I shouldn't feel the way that I felt because he didn't mean it maliciously. Watched him tell TF Blade that he was going to pay him and unalive him and his parents, as well as threatened to physically assault him in Farsi 15 seconds after TF Blade told him to shut the fuck up because no one wanted to deal with his VOD reviews anymore. I'm here if you guys need any league info. That's good to know. Thanks, Ina. He then tried pinning all the blame for the situation on me because I was the team captain, and in order to keep the peace, I had to almost beg him to stay in Brazil for hours because I didn't want the whole house to have more drama attached to it than it already did. Dude sounds like a piece of work. Brought up private grievances that he had with Laura on his stream in order to send hate her way, rather than bring them up with me because he felt like he had to tell everyone. He then went on to DM almost everyone that he thought might also take issue with her in order to cultivate a hate group against her. While this list could be made somewhat longer, a brief passage will make you understand the true extent of his character. When people type JGDiff in his chat, they're banned within seconds. When people type that one of his good friends is the worst player alive, horrible at the game, that his relationship was a sham, or that when they would hurl personal insults against Laura over the course of weeks, those messages would run unchecked. What does JGDiff mean, by the way, Ina? Maybe you know. Not only were they unmoderated, but through his own actions and words directly encouraged. To make matters even worse, he was completely aware of the extent the character assassination was going to, because he would laugh, even on stream daily, about how negative my YouTube comments were. He would laugh at the fact that everyone was starting to hate me because, for lack of better terms, he found it amusing. He acted in ways that demonstrated a complete lack of any and all true empathy. It amazes me that a man that prides himself so highly on the idea of respect in actuality has none. He wields his platform as a weapon, in and out of game, and it's not only bizarre, but truly sad. Ina says, JG Diff, jungle diff is when you lose your lane and everybody is pissed because of that, and they say jungle difference because enemy laner is better. Okay. Also, lanes are mid, top, jungle, support, bottom. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting, Pain. I agree with you. It's pretty sad. Pretty sad. Yeah, okay. Anyways, I just was really sad about that, and that's why I wanted to cover it. But what is this? Oh my god, a hairless raccoon. What the f? That's kind of freaky. Kind of scary, honestly. Okay, this is the Tarzaned apology. He says, I want to openly express my deepest sympathies and apologize to those who have been hurt by my recent actions. Over the course of my life, I would always remind myself that my anger stemmed from League of Legends and that I was a completely normal individual outside of the game. Despite this, I have let my behavior and anger seep into who I am as a person, and I need to grow, to change, and apologize for what I've done. I don't think it stemmed from League of Legends, my dude. I think you just thrived in League of Legends because it stemmed from you. But I've come to terms with my attitude, and I refuse to remain in denial and not become better. At a certain point in time, one must realize that they aren't as untouchable and complete as a human being as they once thought they were. This dude's actually pretty good at writing too. Retaliation has always been my kryptonite. If something did me wrong, I would escalate things far beyond what is normal and act vindictive, petty, and spiteful. Despite my intentions being to showcase someone else in a dark light, I dragged into the mix yet another person into the mix who did not deserve to be part of it. Their private life should have stayed at that private. My intentions were to highlight someone's true character, and all I did in the process was showcase my lack thereof. I sabotaged everything in the name of merely winning an internet beef. I, once again, let ego get the better of me. I've always felt the need to make others feel bad if they've hurt me. This is something I'm working on and trying to grow to be more mature and let these situations not escalate, even if I feel it's provoked or justified. I know now to just be the bigger person, and I aim to achieve that level of maturity to be worthy of my community's trust. As far as all the hateful comments I've received, I acknowledge and know that I deserve many of them. I made people that care about me most upset, and have resurfaced trauma for them that I should have been more cognizant of. Sorry I'm writing paragraphs and fuming, it's just I'm so disgusted by the situation. Yeah, I was too when I first saw it. That's why I wanted to cover it. When my family, the most important people in my life, are coming to me disappointed and ashamed, I know it's in my best interest to accept responsibility for those I've hurt. I appreciate my community, loved ones, and everyone who's given me countless years of support. I recognize that I hurt people as collateral damage, which was never my intent. It was your intent. I currently do not feel it's right for me to continue making content. For that reason, I will be taking some time off to reevaluate my life, past actions, and mental, so that when I do come back, I'll be someone worthy of your support. Also, I am unable to change my profile pic. Sorry for that. If I do return, I will focus solely on creating content. I can only alter my actions, not others. I talk about hope when he says he's a completely normal guy. I feel like Tarzan is apologizing because his mom told him to. Yeah, that's it. That's his post.